Hey, Mrs. C.
Hello, Mrs. C.
As in Mrs. C.
Mrs. C. Hi, Mrs. C.
And Mrs. Cucinotta.
Mrs. C.
Hi, Miss C.
Hi, Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Hi, Miss C.
Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Hello, Miss C.
Hi, Mrs. C.
Mrs. Cucinotta.
Mrs. C.
Hi, Mrs. C. Or is it alright if I still call you Mom?
Hi, Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Hey, Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Mrs. C was. And Mrs. C.
Hi, Mrs. C. Mrs. C.
Mrs. C.
Hi, Mrs. C. Hi, Mrs. C.
Hi, Mrs. C. Hey, Mrs. C. I am Elliot Tan, and I'm currently a senior at Fayetteville Manlius High School, and I will be attending Princeton next year. And I was on the Science Olympiad team from 2009 to 2012. I first just wanted to say I hope you enjoy this video made for you by Kenny Friedman. As you can see, all the influence you've had over these years at FM and being our coach and everything else. So about myself, the day I first met you as a freshman in chemistry, I was honestly very scared. However, as you know, I soon came to know you a lot better and quickly, in all honesty, became your clumsiest student. After breaking so many beakers and burning myself quite a few times, it was quite amazing that I was still able to make it onto the Science Olympiad team. So Science Olympiad for me has been by far the most important thing I've ever done in my life. When I look back on high school, it is also one of the things that I had the most fun with and also had the most impact on me. Each year that I was on the team was just so enjoyable, and I learned so much every year. Because of you, I was able to grow from the freshman I was to, I guess, the senior now I am right now, smarter, hopefully more mature. Your guidance and loving leadership for Science Olympiad is also irreplaceable. I remember personally when you taught me how to light a match, how to store pizza properly, how to use the microwave properly, and frankly just a lot of common sense stuff that you taught me. We've also definitely had a lot of success together. 4 state championships in a row for me, a 5th place nationally, a 7th place nationally, and together we got the 10th consecutive state championship this year, which I gotta say I'm pretty proud of, and I hope you are too. It is very safe to say that without you, FM would be hard-pressed to even win states one year. Just the organization, analysis, and time you have put into Science Olympiad has made it one of the most premier clubs, both in New York State and the nation. But most importantly, I learned from you how to live my life, the passion for winning, to have fun while doing science, and also operating as a family. Those are 3 things that I will always remember, and I will try to apply to my own life. I really appreciate all the dedication you have put into Science Olympiad, and it has been an amazing 4 years together that I will never forget. We all love you, and hope you had a great time coaching us at FM.
My name is Christopher Eisent, and I graduated Fayetteville Manlius High School in 2006. While I was there, I had the distinct privilege of having Mrs. Cucinotta as a teacher, as a coach, and as a mentor. She was one of the few teachers that let me stay in her classroom even when I'd constantly goof off and not take anything seriously. But in the end, her patience paid off, and I learned a lot. Mrs. C set the example and taught me what it's like to make a commitment to a team and then work tirelessly to that end. On the Science Olympiad team, Mrs. C taught me that if you put in the time and the effort, you think unconventionally and outside the box, every mission is possible.
Hi, Mrs. C. I just wanted to thank you for everything that you've done for me. You really made me feel like I could be more than the average student, that I could be a Rhodes Scholar, even though I get lost all the time to this day. But perhaps the most important thing that you taught me is that on a great team, you can learn so much from other people, and you can also have a great time. You know, I always remember all those late nights working on creative musical instruments and robots and forgetting about the time. I'm really sad that you're retiring and that future students won't get a chance to learn from you, but I hope you have a wonderful retirement and you get to do all the things you've always wanted to do.
Mrs. C, congratulations. It's Jeff Eisent from the class of 2004. Just a few short reflections on your time as the Science Olympiad coach. Having grown up now and been out of school for 8 years, now I can finally recognize the personal sacrifice it took for you to run the team. Now that I have to do the laundry and cook for myself and pay the bills, now I understand what a sacrifice it was for you to be with us all week and all weekend. In addition, no offense Ryan, but looking back at students that age now, we were punks. Thank you so much for putting up with us. And finally, now that I haven't done the same thing for more than 2 years in a row, I can really admire your dedication in spending 10 years coaching us before you even won your first national championship. So congratulations, Mrs. C. The school is really going to miss you.
Mrs. C was always a great mentor for me, and I loved going to her rooms after school and sitting and just talking with her about random stuff. In choosing my college decision, Mrs. C was a great help and told me that it's not about the money, it's about where you are fitting in best and what you like the most. And that's why a large part of the reason I chose Michigan, and I've been extremely happy there and I'm grateful for her decision. Mrs. C always spent time out of her busy day helping us do better for SO, and she was the greatest teacher I've ever known. Thanks. Have a great retirement, Mrs. C.
Hi, Mrs. C. This is Bianca Verma, and I graduated from FM in 2006. I was on the FM SO team in 2004, 2005, and 2006, and I was very lucky to be on the national championship team in 2004. I graduated from Harvard College in May of 2010 with a degree in social anthropology and a minor in health policy. I decided to take a little time off before medical school and volunteered through AmeriCorps with a program called City Year in Chicago. I was a full-time tutor and mentor for a 6th grade classroom there and just absolutely loved it. I got to wake up every day and go into this classroom and help inspire kids to love learning. I got a little taste, I think, of what your life is probably like. But I also realized that I was so lucky to go to a school like FM and to have SO in my life to help me fall in love with learning and fall in love with science, because that's exactly why I'm where I am today. So I'm a first-year medical student at the University of Michigan, and I hope to work in pediatrics and to integrate public health and health equity issues into my career as a physician. So I just wanted to say thank you again for everything that you've done for me up to this point. I know that you will be missed tremendously at FM, but I really hope this new change is a welcome one. And I look forward to seeing you at our 10-year national championship reunion, I haven't forgotten, in 2 years, if not before then. So thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Nora Ward. I'm FM class of 2004, and I participated in Science Olympiad from 2002 to 2004. Hi, Mrs. C. Congratulations on your retirement. Figured there was no better place to send you a message from than your room. Certainly the best classroom I've ever been in, and it looks pretty much the same as when I was here. See, people are working hard on all of their projects, displayed all over. There's 2 things that happened in this exact seat where I'm sitting that I think are the capstone of my Science Olympiad experience from you. The night of the beginning of my junior year, we had created a circle with these chairs to pick events. I was sitting in this seat, and you asked who would do Sounds of Music with me, and Christine Chin bashfully agreed to join me. And the times I had with her working on those instruments was huge for me. The friendships that I've gotten out of Science Olympiad have been amazing. I've visited multiple friends in multiple states and cities over the years, and it's amazing how much those have stuck. The other thing that happened that night was that I chose most of the bio events and eventually got the nickname of Bio Queen, and now I graduate from medical school in just over a month, and I don't think that ever would have happened had I not had that extra exposure to biology in my early high school years. So I'm really grateful for the opportunities that you presented for me. It's really changed my career. Particularly in our year, we had more girls than boys. I'm wearing our pink shirt to remember that. And here's our trophy that I stole out of the case just so that we could have a nice little memory. It was wonderful times, and the impact you've made has been absolutely tremendous. Thank you for all of your hard work, all of your late nights, weekends, all the time we spent in this room on vacations, free periods. Really appreciate it. In this room, even when it's not yours, will still hold a very special place in my heart. Love you. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, Miss C. It's Grayson Farner, class of 2004. We were asked to do a video to describe the impact that you've had on our lives and some of our memories of having you as a coach and a teacher and as a friend. You've done a lot for us. First and foremost, I can't deny, I have two people in this room right now. You helped us forge great friendships that are going to last the rest of our lives. To me, that's incredibly important. Hopefully, you feel that you've made great connections with a lot of great people over your time at FM. And everyone's going to talk about Science Olympiad, but a lot of what I think about when you gave all the time and effort to FM, how we were kind of like your, I can't even call it second family, kind of like the 1.5 family, because you really gave so much to the school. You can't put up like a billboard on, going up to East Seneca Turnpike that says, great science teacher, great friend, great mentor. These are things that don't go up on billboards, but when I think about you, that's really what comes to mind. I wasn't always in Science Olympiad, as a sophomore, I was in your class, and you stayed after more than I think. You probably put in more hours, not just as a coach, but as a teacher, helping kids who didn't necessarily have an aptitude towards science really get pumped about it and spend hours and hours in your classroom, in a sweltering classroom, helping hordes of people, ace a Regents exam that helped them get into a great college or help them, gain confidence in science. You spent days doing that when all the other teachers that I tried to get to do that really didn't put in the same amount of effort. So we're spoiled by that. You also, I remember when you asked me to come over and weed your garden. I suck at weeding, but I need a little bit of money, and you helped me out. And not that these are the biggest things that I remember, but it just shows how all around you cared about your students as people. You cared about your players. You were fair. I remember you really didn't pull any punches. You kicked pretty much the entire senior class off of the SHS team. I think is why we didn't collect enough bottle caps. Obviously the Science Olympiad memories were truly terrific. But the dedication that you put in as a teacher, away from your family and away from all the things that you have, going on that you could have been great at. All of us really appreciate what you did for us. So thank you very much.
Greetings from Pittsburgh, Mrs. C. This is Shraddha Naik. I'm from the class of 2005.
And I'm Mary Collins. I'm from the class of 2006.
We just wanted to take a moment to reflect on the impact that you've had on us over the past few years.
You were such an amazing teacher, and I have such fond memories of your chemistry class. You made chemistry easy to learn and a lot of fun, especially through all your demonstrations. You helped me learn to love chemistry, even to this day.
And as a coach, I think your team's performances really speak for themselves with all those gold medals and state championships and obviously winning nationals. That was amazing. But I think what impressed me most was your ability to see the potential in every single one of us, even before we knew we had it. And creating a family every single year, turning 15 strangers into lifelong friends. That was amazing.
You were such a dedicated coach, many times staying into the night and sometimes to the early hours of the morning to help us study or finish our events. I specifically remember one time during nationals, you coming with us to register our bottle rocket, even though we had to do it really early in the morning and outside when it was pouring and lightning.
And later that day, you taught us that we had to stay positive even when things were seemingly crashing and burning around us, and you told us that we still had to go to closing ceremonies and we'd still be the best dressed team there with our pink shirts and ties, and you know the rest.
Thank you for being our teacher,
our coach and mentor,
and our second mom.
We hope you have a wonderful and relaxing retirement,
free from worries that will blow up your classroom,
or pass English,
or whether we'll stay in touch.
Because obviously we have.
We look forward to seeing you in 2014 for our 10-year reunion.
We got it! Oh my God!
Hi, Miss C. I hope you're doing well. Right now, I'm a first-year MD PhD student at Dartmouth, so many more years for me left at Hanover, New Hampshire. Oh, and guess what? My PhD is going to be in chemistry. Anyways, for real, I just like to take this opportunity to be thankful for all the great moments I've had with SO and you mentoring us. They've been really helpful in just me growing, taking on challenges, and being able to deal with situations when the shit hits the fan. And speaking of such situations, I actually have a video of our robot in 2006 at Nationals that you've never seen before. It's so good that when you show your friends, you don't even need to mention that we didn't get any points. It's that good. We got all the objects. And let's be honest, that ref was out to get us. So do enjoy that and take care.
Judges ready? Students ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hey, move back. Move back. Up. Lower. Up. Up. Back. Oh, wait. Wait. Good.
Hi, Mrs. C. Or is it alright if I still call you Mom? I'm coming to you from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and I first and foremost wanted to say congratulations on a great career, on being a terrific coach, a terrific teacher, and finally entering retirement. I know you deserve it, and I know this next phase of your life is going to be awesome. Second, I wanted to say that I don't think I'd be sitting here in the same spot if it wasn't for you. I can go back to the exact moment, the exact conversation I had that led me to where I am now. And you might not remember or think of its significance, but at that dinner we had, when we were invited to Washington after winning the national championship, I was sitting at a table thinking about the rest of my life. I had my applications into college, didn't know where I was going. Thought maybe I wanted to do engineering, maybe I wanted to do international relations. And I ended up having a conversation at that dinner with a member of the State Department Science and Technology Division who said, hey, why don't you do both? Do your engineering degree and then come to DC. We need engineers just like everyone else. So I followed his advice. After interning at the State Department and the Office of Naval Intelligence, I came to DC as a consultant. Been working on some great problems over the last year. I've been trying to help the Army figure out what to do with all the drones they have that they've been buying hand over fist for the last 2 years, you know, trying to save the taxpayers' money. But anyways, I am now at a point in my life where I'll be entering business school in the fall and hope to return to DC afterwards in a career focused on financing some of these defense and security technology products that this nation needs to defend itself. So I wanted to say thank you for that. I wanted to again reiterate how happy I am that you are retiring. After all these years, you deserve it. And last but not least, go Bills. Hope to see you soon, Mrs. C, and congratulations.
Mrs. C, you've been such an inspiration to us all over the past few years. You've stayed after school and late into the night with us quite literally countless times. You've put up with all of our shenanigans and still help us to succeed in school and Science Olympiad. I can honestly say that not a single activity or class has shaped the way that I thought about my future more than being with this team has. You were always there to help. I remember when I first tried out and was placed on B team, and I was disappointed, but the very next day you came and told me that as long as I did well that year, I'd be able to come up to A team, and that was the motivation that led me to continue with Science Olympiad with the passion that I have. Because of everything that you have done for us and for me personally, I'm able to go to one of the best schools in the country and continue to do what I love. I'm really going to miss all of this, and I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for us. This really has made high school an unforgettable time, and I'm always going to remember you.
Hi, my name is Matt Eisent. I was part of FMSO from 2006 to 2009, and now I'm part of the class of 2013 at Stanford University, majoring in economics and public policy. When I think about Mrs. C, some really important qualities come to mind. First off, her dedication. It's the first thing you'll hear when anyone gets asked about Mrs. C. At SO, from the car drives to Lemoyne to study entomology, or to SU to study gas chromatography, for instance, she was always there and put a lot of time and hours behind all of our success. And that involved, a lot of late nights at the gym, testing building events, and a lot of pots of coffee. But, she pushed through and stayed by our side in times of triumph and times of despair. So it was really nice to have her always there, always attentive to what we were trying to do. And that kind of stemmed, I think, from her enthusiasm, whether it be about science or our personal lives. She was always up, she was always there and made sure that we were having a good time. And I think part of that was her hands-on approach to being involved with us, not just lecturing the truth, but discovering along with us. And part of that, I think, too, is she made sure we would be challenged. And, she always made tests. I remember, hour-long forensics tests or thousands of bug flashcards or technical problem-solving designs. She was always there making sure that we were being pushed to our limits so that way we'd be ready for the event and we could succeed. I think what kind of speaks to that is whenever you'd ask me to see a question, oftentimes she'd reply, well, what do you think? And it wasn't because she didn't know the answer. It was because she wanted to get involved in your thinking process and discovering along with you what was going right and what was going wrong. And it was really interesting to have someone who would engage with you like that, not just tell you the facts left and right. Because at the end of the day, it was important to learn as an individual rather than memorize a list of things. Also, Mrs. C, is just extremely humorous. Some of the funniest stories of my life I've definitely had in her presence, and she probably has a lot about me. And I tell you some stories, but she's been honest enough to tell me I'm not very good at telling funny stories, so I won't. But she could always, lighten the mood and keep us humble with these stories. And it was really nice to, after a hard event, to be able to lighten the mood. Because at competition it can be very stressful, so it's nice to have a laugh once in a while. And that was really great. I'd say Mrs. C is extremely personable as well. I've had a lot of coffee chats with her at Starbucks, from topics of education, politics, science, the future, in my own life and hers. And it's been nice to have someone experienced as her to give their input and listen to me and kind of go through what I was thinking. Because there's a lot of uncertainties, especially going through high school. It's a pretty important time in our lives and even beyond. And it's nice to have someone there to talk to who's, is interested in you as a parent, but isn't your parent, so you can have honest and frank discussions, which is really, really nice to have. FM is losing a truly wondrous teacher once Mrs. C retires, but her work will carry on. She's inspired so many people, friends of mine in my class and around me, who are going to pursue science in college or in the future. And myself personally, my interest in energy and environment policy and economics has really stemmed from my great time studying science at SO or in her class, and she's really inspired me to think of it as a very important topic and the future that it can have. And I'd say Mrs. C also inspires a certain work ethic that's certainly characterized through adapt and overcome, that we always strive for success, but we expect failures from time to time, and what's important is being able to deal with these circumstances and be ready for the next time and learn lessons. And so I'd say Mrs. C, she might be leaving, but her impact will be felt for a long time because she's just such an inspiring person. So, it's sad to see her leave, but, she's been saying she'll retire for at least 5 years now. So, Mrs. C, relax, spend time with your real family, and please keep in touch. All the best.
One of the most important things Mrs. C was able to do was help motivate everyone else on the team. And so before competitions, you could tell she was nervous. Everyone else was nervous, but she would always have a way of helping some of the team members relax, get ready for their competitions, and stay motivated throughout everything. And so after competitions, she'd always give us the talk, but you could tell that she was proud of what everyone had done. She knows how much work people put into their events, how much they cared about their events, and she was always there to encourage us along the way.
Mrs. C was always able to motivate everyone and make them determined to do their very best. I know that for me, in forensics, she made sure that we put in the time that was needed on the event, and she was the reason that we were able to get 5th at Nationals. The week before competition, she went through all the tests that the proctor has ever written and found commonalities between all the tests and wrote them all down for us, so that going into the test we could have that extra leg up on all the competition that overall ended up giving us 5th place.
Mrs. C, I can't think of any words in the entire world that would even begin to express how much you've impacted me. I can clearly remember that I was slightly intimidated by you the first time I saw you. You were walking across campus with the rest of your team in sunglasses when we were at the campus in Georgia, and I just remember thinking to myself, wow, that's the Mrs. C that I've heard all about. I had requested you as a teacher for honors chemistry back in 9th grade, and when I opened up my schedule a couple weeks before the beginning of sophomore year, I remember I was jumping up and down across my kitchen because I was so excited to have you. You truly have been the most amazing teacher I've ever had, and the most amazing teacher that I ever could have. Your demos in class were phenomenal. I can remember everything from the oozing pumpkin on Halloween to the different colors of water that changed on the first day of school. Everything that you taught us baffled me because you made it seem so easy. Despite the frustration that some kids in my class may have caused you, I was amazed about how you treated each kid like your own and led them onto a path of success, whether it be long and rugged or very smooth and short. You truly redefined the meaning of a teacher. You pioneered the way to show how a woman can truly teach chemistry. I'll always remember all the endless hours I spent in your room. Next year, I'll truly miss spending time spreading out every one of my books across your tables, eating popcorn and Jolly Ranchers, coming up with temperatures of negative 2,000 Kelvin, making binders, running maglev, and laughing at the stories you told after school. I can't even begin to describe how thankful I am for everything you've ever done for me. From the first team meetings of every year to the last time we spent together as a team at Nationals, you taught me and the rest of the team how to motivate ourselves and to push ourselves to our greatest capabilities. Over the past 3 years when I was a member of the SO family, you drove our team to be something greater than students who study together. You connected each one of us as a greater part of the SO family and were the facilitator of our success. There are not many people in the world like you. I can't imagine anyone else that would be willing to spend over 300 hours locked in a chemistry room with 15 high schoolers as they made the biggest mess known to man. I'll always remember the phrase, "Believe in miracles every day," that was printed on the bracelets you gave all the girls before states this year. Mrs. C, over all your years of coaching and teaching, you have allowed each one of us to believe in miracles because you truly have made miracles happen. I wish the best of luck to you next year as you enjoy time with Parker and the rest of your family and celebrate all of your successes. I love you, Mrs. C.
And Mrs. C, it's John. I just want to say thanks for giving me the experience of being on Science Olympiad. I remember 2 years ago during your chem class, you pulled me over during this one lab we were doing, and you told me that if I wanted to be on the team, because trials were coming up in like a month or so, that I would have to improve my handwriting because judges wouldn't be able to read anything I'd written. And that hasn't really happened, but being on Science Olympiad was it was the first time any teacher singled me out for an extracurricular activity, and I really think it made a huge difference, and it made me a better person and a better student, and I'd like to thank you for that.
Mrs. C has been such a huge part of my time in high school, and FM won't be the same without her next year. I really enjoyed being in our chemistry class sophomore year when I wasn't on SO yet, and then when I made the team. I loved seeing the devotion she poured into her students and the passion she had for teaching. It was truly inspiring. And the time I got to spend with her on SO was truly amazing, and I really consider it a gift. The life lessons she's taught all of us are really important, and I know that the seniors going off to college next year will definitely have to put those to use. She's touched so many people, and the years of service she's given to SO are the reason that we've had such great success. SO is really important to her, and I think that it shows with how many people are interested and now how much support we get and how big of a thing it is. Mrs. Cucinotta is a mentor in everything she does, every aspect of her life. She's a role model, and really the only word to describe her is devotion. She gives all of herself. She gives everything she has to everything she does, and that's a great way and a great outlook on life, and I hope to be like Mrs. C in the future. So Mrs. C, thank you so much for everything you've given me, everything you've given us, everything you've given FM, all the service you've put into the school and into Science Olympiad. All those late nights really paid off, especially this year. I hope you get to enjoy your grandson and your daughter and get to spend more time with your family. Have a great retirement. You deserve all the best things in the world. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jia Chen, and I'm currently a student at the University of Buffalo. I was on the FM Science Olympiad team in 2009 and 2010. When I think back to high school, Science Olympiad pops out as one of the things that I was really proud of and really enjoyed. I got the opportunity to work with some amazing teammates and really helpful adults like other teachers and coaches and parents who would come in and help us with builds and bring us dinners. This was definitely all made possible by Mrs. C. The SO team was like a huge family, and Mrs. C kind of like kept everything together and coordinated everyone so that we had the opportunity to do the best that we could. Just like as an example, I remember when I was a junior, one of my events was environmental chemistry, and then when I was a senior, one of my events was protein modeling. Both of those events were new events at the time, and me and my partners were like really lost as what to study and how to get started since they were new events. Mrs. C helped so much with like getting information about the events and contacting people to help us. She's dedicated so much of herself to SL, and I just wanted to say thank you, Mrs. C, and I hope you have a very relaxing retirement.
Hey, Mrs. C. I just want to let you know how much you have done for all of us. You have been the biggest part of my life, and I can't even tell you how much you've done for me and how much you mean to me. You've helped my family through more than a fair share of rough patches, and you have urged me to do my best in life, and you even were able to be my confirmation sponsor. You have changed me in so many ways. I mean, I can't even count them, and I can't even notify because there's so many. And I know I can always look to you for support and answers, and you were just amazing. I have no idea at all how FM is going to replace someone like you, because no one can replace your kindness and your dedication to your work and how much you love your kids and teach them no matter how annoying and how pestering they may be. You will go through and you will do it with a smile. When I have looked at all you've done, I can't even fathom how you were able to do it all and pack into such a small amount of time. It's absolutely insane. And you have changed our school as a whole, and you've even changed the very idea of being a chemistry teacher, because it's just completely different from what anybody else does, and in such a great way, Mrs. C. And you've changed my life more than I ever thought anybody could. And I'm really sad to see you go, because there's some part of me that's really worried that I'll never share these moments ever again with you. But even though I know you live your daughter lives right down the street from me, and I know I'll see you at least 3 times a week probably. But Mrs. C, I'm really grateful to see you enter a new chapter in your life, knowing that I see you teach kids almost every single day, and knowing how you treat them and knowing how you discuss things with them. I mean, no matter how difficult they get, you somehow make it through, and you are going to be the best grandmother I have ever seen, and this is truly you, and you're going to enjoy your life, and I'm really happy for you. Mrs. C, I absolutely love you and adore you, and I look up to you in every single way, and I really look forward to seeing you down my very road and at regionals next year.
Hey, my name is Michael Chen, class of 2006. I was a software engineer at Microsoft for 1.5 years, and now I'm working at a startup in California. I'd like to thank Mrs. C for providing such an awesome social community. It was only until I joined the team that I actually learned how to work well with others, respect each other's ideas, and actually develop basic social skills. She really emphasized the need to understand each other and how to give help when help is needed, how to take criticism when you need to improve, and how to do both without pissing anybody off. It was also really helpful to learn basic human functions, like how to fold beds, how to deal with rowdy youngsters, and how to please the very picky girls on the team. I'm really thankful for this because you can learn math, science, and technical skills anywhere, but it's very difficult to find people that are not only smart, but also able to communicate and work well together and have fun at the same time. So thank you very much, Ms. C, for giving me such an awesome high school experience and helping me become a hopefully more socially acceptable person.
Number 1, suit up. Number 2, 1999, Chicago, National Science Olympiad poster. Congratulate Mrs. C on her incredible run. Congratulations on a successful and dominating career. I was really glad to be part of starting up the run. Congratulations, and good luck for the future.
Hi, Mrs. C. It's Amelia Norowski, class of 2002. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years. I wanted to say thank you for all you've done for me to help make me who I am today. You taught me many important things, both in chemistry and Science Olympiad, and about working hard. Chem is try to achieve your goals. You always encouraged us to have fun, whether it was with experiments in class or the endless amazing memories I have with Science Olympiad. I met some of my best friends on that team with you. Thank you for nurturing my love of science and for being a wonderful role model as a successful woman in the science field. You were always an inspiration through the long road through college, medical school, and now residency today. I will always be proud of my experiences on Science Olympiad thanks to you. Thank you for everything you've brought to FM and for giving so many other students similar opportunities. Congratulations on your retirement. Wish I could be there to celebrate with you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Layla Ishik.
Hi, I'm Samiksha Nayak.
And we graduated from FM in 2006, and we were on the SO team from 04 to 06.
And we're here at MIT, which is actually where I ended up going to undergrad. And really a huge part of that was a result of being on Science Olympiad and having the chance to work with the SO team as well as you, Mrs. C, and the other coaches, and being able to study science and engineering at a really early age.
Yeah, I agree with Samiksha. So I'm here now doing my PhD, and I did my undergraduate at Johns Hopkins. And a huge part of getting me interested and passionate about science and engineering came from Science Olympiad and your inspiration, Mrs. C?
I think, yeah, even in senior year of high school, if someone asked me what I would end up doing, I wouldn't have said engineering if it hadn't been for being on the SO team and even considering sort of those skills or those that as a career, actually.
Yeah, because in high school you don't really get an exposure to that, but Science Olympiad was a great way to get us involved in that and get us excited about it. And especially as a bunch of girls, sophomore girls, when we first joined the team, Mrs. C were extremely encouraging and instilled a ton of confidence in us that this was something we could and should do.
Yeah, I think it was a huge leap of faith on your part, especially our year, to take on like 5 new young sophomore girls onto the team. And I think that was the first year, actually, that there were more girls than guys on the SO team, so that was new.
Well, and it obviously paid off because we won the national championships in 2004.
Right, obviously.
Yeah.
It was us girls that did everything.
Yeah.
But no, really, what I think made a huge difference for me too was I used to be really shy and introverted in high school, and you know, the type of person who would just sort of put your head down, do your work, and you know, get through things. But being on the team and really getting that sort of collaborative atmosphere kind of brought me out of my shell, and actually it was something that I really looked for in my college experience, and even like going forward, like I think that's something I really value and find important.
Yeah, and the friendships that you helped us build on the team, I mean, Samiksha and I are still close friends. We're still close friends with everyone in our year, everyone that we were on the team with, and you really helped foster those friendships with all of your time you spent with us and the hard work and how much fun you made it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I actually even wrote like a supplementary essay for one of my colleges about SO, but not so much about the competitions, but as Layla was saying, kind of all those late nights and you know, in between competition moments and sort of that camaraderie that you really fostered, and was really a valuable portion of our high school experience and actually life experience, I would say.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Mrs. C. We're sure you're going to be very missed at the high school, but we wish you the best of luck in your retirement. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations on an amazing career. You've touched so many students, including ourselves. So thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. C. We love you.
We love you.
Hi, Mrs. C. It's Mia from the Science Olympiad class of 2002. Congratulations on your retirement. I heard that this video is only supposed to be 30 to 60 seconds long, which to me seems like a woefully inadequate amount of time to express to you how much you mean to me and to catch you up on everything that's happened since I last saw you. So I think that means that we're going to have to chat soon and formally catch up. But anyways, in brief, after I graduated from college, my parents decided to move from upstate New York to the Bay Area. And so then I decided to follow them out to the Bay Area for medical school. I went to UC San Francisco, and I just graduated last year. And I loved California so much that I decided to stay for residency. So I matched in orthopedic surgery at UCSF. And I'm about 2 weeks away from finishing my intern year, which is crazy. Can you believe I'm actually sawing bones apart and hammering them back together? I can't totally believe it myself, but it's pretty cool. Oh, see, I have proof. I now have bones in my apartment. Don't worry, they're fake. And look, also, I'm actually a doctor now, which is pretty cool. But more importantly, what I really want to emphasize in this video is how much Science Olympiad and more so you have had just such a profound impact on my life. You are by far the teacher that I remember the most in all my years of education, which at this point amounts to a lot of years of education. And I think that's a testament to your dedication to the team and to chemistry and to science in general, and really how unparalleled it was and how inspiring it was to me. I think if I go on any further, I might start crying, so I'll stop there. But I wish you the best with your retirement. I miss you a lot, and I hope that we see each other soon. Love you, Mrs. C. Bye.
Hi, Mrs. C. This is Solomon. Just want to say congratulations on your retirement and on an incredibly successful career as the chief head coach of Science Olympiad. You made a huge impact on my life. When I arrived at high school, I was not at all comfortable with who I was or being good at science. Then you encouraged me and gave me an environment where I could thrive. You didn't force me to do science. You just provided a place that was irresistible and an environment that was conducive to teammates encouraging one another. And I think that made a huge difference in how I decided to go on from high school and what I decided to do in the long run. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I hope you and your family are well. Congratulations and happy retirement.
My name is Leila Rogers, and I was on FMSO from 2010 to 2012. On a scholarship application, I was asked the question of which scientist inspires me the most, and my answer was easy, Mrs. Cucinotta. After being told to her face that a woman couldn't teach chemistry, she made it one of her life goals to get girls to pursue careers in the sciences, and I'm proud to say that I will be one of those girls. Before I met Mrs. C as a sophomore, I knew nothing about Science Olympiad and would not have tried out if she had not encouraged me to do so. Because of SO and Mrs. C, I decided to apply to college as a prospective engineering major, which is something I would have never thought I would have done before I met Mrs. C. Besides always pushing us to do our best, Mrs. C encourages us to embrace science without compromising our feminine side. She talks to us about coordinating our nationals dresses and takes us to get our nails done. Though areas in the sciences tend to be very male-dominated, Mrs. C managed her career with style and has taught us to do the same. She teaches us not only the material we have to know, but also how to present ourselves in life. Mrs. C, I owe you so much and wish you many peaceful retirement days without having to worry about kids blowing things up or any other sort of creative chemistry. Thank you so much, and FM will not be the same without you.
Hi, Mrs. C. Going into Science Olympiad tryouts this year, I had a greater sense of motivation than I had ever felt before. I wanted to medal, but not for ourselves, but as a small token of appreciation as for what you've done over all these years. I know that the legacy that you have created will continue on even after you have to go. Thank you again for all that you have done.
Hello, Ms. C. It's currently June of 2012, and I'm wrapping up my junior year here at FM. And I first heard about Mrs. C as a 7th grader on the Eagle Hill team. She was essentially a celebrity to all of us down at the middle school. Whenever her name was mentioned, words like success, dedication, and victory came to mind. Believe it or not, many of us were motivated to work hard, not only for our personal desires, but for the sake of impressing our mentors, like in this case, Ms. Sampson and Mrs. C. We wanted to impress her, and more importantly, we really wanted to continue our SO careers after freshman year. When I made the A team my sophomore year, I was ecstatic to say the least. The phone call came the night of tryouts. The phone call that came the night of tryouts was a sigh of relief and the beginning of a newfound journey. From the very first practice, I felt the difference in intensity from the middle school. If I had any regrets through my SO career, it was probably the rather disastrous performance I had that year. Things just had not gone as I had hoped, and yet Miss C was the one probably a little disappointed in us, but yet she was reassuring us that everything would be okay. She wasn't just a coach, she was something more than that, something too extraordinary to describe by mere words. With a great understanding and passion for kids and science, she created what is now FMSO, and she leaves us having mentored many brilliant yet naive minds. This year was a great wrap as we celebrated her final year in Orlando, as we pondered on the life-changing experiences that we've had. I thank you, Ms. C, for everything that you've done for our school, our community, and for me. We will hopefully continue the legacy that you've created.
It's hard to believe how fast the time went by. I remember back my freshman year in Augusta when there was just a couple of us watching your award ceremony up in the second tier, and your 7 seniors that year just went and were winning medals over and over again. And it was kind of intimidating for us knowing next year we were trying out to be part of the big deal where you were reigning supreme and everyone was just another step above us, if not more. And then I really felt that. I mean, my first day when we had our team meeting sophomore year, it was scary because the seniors just knew so much more and we seemed so young and innocent. Our sophomores and Elliot, obviously on year 2, also a step ahead of the rest of us. But I don't know, I got past that fear and you really helped with that. I didn't get caught up anymore in all the little things. I mean, I didn't have to be intimidated by someone who knew more than me. All I had to do was study and work, and I knew I was going to get it. And that was one of the big things you taught me. I mean, you showed me I didn't have to perseverate over the little things. I just had to do what was important and what was going to make the right choice. And I just learned so much from you. I mean, it's hard to even sum it up. There's just, the list goes on and on. I mean, you go through the entire honors chemistry syllabus there to start, and so much with forensics, and you helped me with note-taking and organizing and doing the treasury stuff and test-taking in general and dealing with people. It's more than you'd think one person would even know. It's just impressive how much you were able to help us. I didn't realize how significant you really were to the team. It's amazing to see what one person can do and how many lives they can touch. I never thought something like that was possible. And it's really inspiring. I mean, I know at some point I'm going to be a coach for some team somewhere, and I'm not letting go of it because it just means so much to me. I don't think I can go straight to regional coordinator or anything like you can, but I know at least I'm getting somewhere. But there's just the SO stuff, there's the school stuff, and then there's more. You were something to everyone. You've been a mother, you've been our team mom, you've been the best friend that takes us out to get our nails done. You kick us in the ass when we aren't doing our work and make sure that we get back on it, and you help others who need it, but then you know when to get someone back on the right track and that they need to step up and they need to do the work themselves. And yeah, I've experienced all of those, but it was refreshing, I guess, to have someone who wouldn't accept less from someone when they knew you could get more. I mean, you kept me working really hard the entire time, and I just knew
I couldn't let you down. I had to do it. And finally I did. After hours of studying, we beat that forensics lady. And she'll have to remember that it was from you. You did it. You got past her silly little games, and we beat her. I mean, that's just one event, 1 year. And then 25 years of it, it's amazing that you could do so much. It's, as I said, it's inspiring. I wish that I'd have the ability to help that many people. I mean, I know when I come back to visit, it's going to be so sad that I'm not going to walk in and see you in your room. There's going to be some other teacher there. And I don't know, I guess that's not right. It's Mrs. C's room. It's always Mrs. C's room. That's what it will be. It's been my home the past 3 years, because I'm pretty sure I've spent more time in your room than I have in my own for the majority of high school. Because it's not like we slept that much anyway, and you know that. But we had a good time with it. And I'm just happy everything turned out as it did. I mean, it would have been nice to go home with the gold from Orlando this year. But 7th is good. We came past so many tough challenges this year, and we moved on. I mean, we had an experienced team, but at the same time, we had a young one, and maybe that's just because we were used to not being the oldest. But I don't know. Somehow we made it all work, and it was an amazing year for us to finish on, and I hope it's the same for you. And there's one last thing. I know right before States you had those bracelets for us, and you said, I got these for you girls. I just love girls, and I've kept it on. I mean, it's a little beat up now from so many forensics tests, but I don't take it off. It just stands for how much we had, even in 1 year. And I don't know, it's just something I don't want to let go of. And I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done for us. You've really helped so many people, not just our team. There's all of your students and all of the teachers you've worked with and anyone they've shared your ideas with. You've had such an impact and helped so many people, and it's really nice. So again, I just want to say thank you, because you really did make my high school experience absolutely amazing.
Oh, we're moving. Oh, are we? Oh, we're moving. Hi!
So I'm Mina Shang, and this is David Kim, and we were on the Science Olympiad team in 1998 and 99.
We're old.
We
Very
were old.
old.
We were maybe captains in 99, or you were the captain in 99.
Something like.
And we hung around. And we were just remembering how awesome it was when Mrs. C came to stay at FM that year.
That's right. That was the beginning, I think. Right?
That was the beginning. She arrived when we were juniors. And before that, Science Olympiad had definitely not been a cool thing or anything that anyone was particularly focused on.
That's right.
Except when we were in middle school, it was like something that I was quite focused on, and we had gotten to be pretty good. And then we went to the high school, and it was like all over again, not caring.
Okay. And then we got this crazy lady from CNS, I think, the perennial powerhouse. I remember. Is it working?
Yeah. No, the screen just goes dark.
Oh, I see. Okay. Never used this before. Sorry. I remember, let's see. Just
sit back a little.
Sit back a little bit. Okay, now we look kind of equal. I remember, let's see, the kind of crazy amount of enthusiasm, an awful lot of energy, and it was hard actually not to get swept up into it. Before it felt like Science Olympiad was this thing and you could kind of do it if you wanted, but when Miss C came, it was the thing that you had to do, otherwise you would, I don't know, not doing it just wasn't an option.
You wanted to.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember being so sad. Okay, so this is a side story, but my first year of Science Olymp, when Miss C came, I couldn't actually do Science Olympiad because of extraneous circumstances. We may have gotten suspended. And so the next year, our senior year, you know, I finally got to do this thing that I had really wanted to do, and I was super intimidated because Miss C was coming from this, like, school district that always was the powerhouse and always won, and I wasn't a participant the year before, so I felt like kind of the outsider, and she was so incredibly warm, and just everyone gets swept up in the Miss C, like,
that's right,
reality distortion field, where, you know, it's going to be fun and we're going to spend all day, every day in her room, like, or all of the after school hours,
that's
like,
right.
every day in her room, and right. There's nothing else that you would want to do. And then, when it came time for competition, remember, so we made it to states, which was not, so now we can play out that year. Because that was the first year we made it to states, which was not that surprising, because we had made it to states before. But then at states, it was in Corning. And we had a small team, and we didn't have, like, the legacy of having done this in the past, and we did, like, a pretty good job, you know, but we didn't win a lot of events, but we felt like we were being really pretty consistent. Like, I think we pretty consistently came in, like, the top 6 to 10 in so many events. And I remember the award ceremony because, you know, okay, so we didn't win a lot of awards, and we were kind of sad, but, like, when we got the rankings back, you know, we were such a team, like, that Miss C was keeping track of so many events. Yeah. And then we were all sitting there, and they start, like, doing the rankings for the teams, and they count backwards for, like, the top 15 teams or something, right?
I don't remember.
So they count backwards for the top 15 teams, and they're counting down, and we're, like, not getting listed, and we were like, there's no, like, first we were excited because, you know, it, like, gets below 10, and we're like, yeah, we made it in the top 10. And then they're still going, and it gets to 6, and we're like, oh my god, maybe we really screwed up. Like, maybe we didn't make it at all. And then it just keeps going down, and we were just, like, sad because we were like, oh man, we didn't even make it in, like, the top 20 or whatever. And then we were number 2, despite having won almost no medals. Like, I think we won, like, 2 medals, and everyone, and I was definitely crying. The whole team was, like, jumping up and down and hugging people, and everyone else in the audience was like, who are these people? They didn't win any medals.
That's true.
Why? Because it was much more of the team, like, everybody contributing rather than any superstars. Like, we didn't win a lot of medals, but we were very consistent, and everyone was just focused on getting the most events done.
Yeah, I think that's right. And that kind of consistency, I think, really speaks to, I think, what marks out Mrs. C as an incredibly special influence. You know, I remember feeling kind of conflicted about her at the beginning because, on the one hand, I felt like, here is this person who has an enormous amount of confidence in me and puts a lot of faith in me. And on the other hand, I also felt like, you know, if I didn't work my ass off, she would come kick it. You know, and they somehow oppose each other, those two feelings. But the way that seemed to work was she had all of this belief in us, and that gave us the kind of courage to go challenge ourselves personally, to have some kind of personal ambition. I mean, that's a pretty amazing influence. It's a pretty amazing lesson to learn at any point in life, much less in high school. And, you know, I think the result that Mina's describing really reflects that. We all felt that way. And when everybody gets on board like that, that means that there has to be someone who is influencing all of those people and pushing all of those people to a certain level. Certainly the common denominator there was Mrs. C. But that kind of inspiration and really getting the most out of everyone she was around was really what made her special and really kind of galvanizing force. And then, you know, I left after that, but then I would constantly hear things back about how it was going, and it really felt like she got that ball rolling, and at some point, you know, it accrued momentum, and it became this sort of unstoppable thing. But, you know, a lot of fond memories from that. But really, I mean, thank you for that. I mean, it was such a great trip, but an amazing experience, you know, to have as a student. And I think I can speak for all of us that, you know, having that experience personally as well as a kind of achievement, you know, on your CV or resume, all of those things helped, right? They helped us personally. They helped us in terms of, you know, getting various opportunities. And I can say, at least for myself, that the kind of opportunities that Mrs. C made possible for me were absolutely life-changing. And that's, I'm really incredibly grateful for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would just like to second that. I think it was one of the best team building, like how much can you bring all of these people together to work on something experiences I certainly had ever had to that date. And now I work in an industry where we build companies around technologies, and the lessons and the activities are pretty much the same. It's like you have to get all of the stakeholders involved, not just the parents, but also she managed to pull in all the teachers. We do the same thing, and Miss C managed to always pull everybody in, get everybody as excited as she was. She has the most energy and the most compassion and inclusiveness for everyone, and gets everyone to add to the group rather than letting anyone sort of wander off and get lost in the shuffle. And I think it's just an amazing person to have learned from and to have been touched by, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's been 13 years. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in a long time. Next time I do, I will make a point to come say hello and deliver this message of gratitude in person. But until then, enjoy retirement, and you've definitely earned every inch of that.
Absolutely. And you're changing the world through us. We love you so much, Miss C.
Bye.
Hi, Mrs. C. First and foremost, I think you deserve many congratulations because you were able to turn people like me and, of course, all the others on the team into people that can do this and ultimately this, which is totally, totally beyond me. And I really only have a limited time to do this, so I'd better get down to business. There are so many things I want to say, but I guess the one thing that I'll remember from my years of SO with you is that you always tend to have these moments with us, moments that can't really be replicated by other teachers. And in particular, I'm referring to this little guy, our friendly black Dixon Ticonderogas. I remember we brought that up one day, and we mentioned how we both really, really liked these black Ticonderogas. And it just struck me how human everything seemed about our interactions with each other. There was no pretense or anything. It was just two people working towards a common goal who both happened to like these black Ticonderogas. And I found that very, very comfortable. And everything about Science Olympiad was very comfortable. When I got on the team in the first place, I guess there was this discomfort within me because I didn't really know many of the people on the team. I knew a few, but you made this experience so, so enjoyable through little things like that, and of course through countless others. And your ability to work with people like us and to still have those human interactions is totally just beyond me. So thank you very, very much, and congratulations and good luck.
Hi, Mrs. C. It's Catherine Herbag.
And Douglas Sampson. We were on the Science Olympiad team from 2008 to 2011.
We were captains in 2011. We just wanted to say thank you for everything that you've done for us. You have put in so much effort, and it's had a huge impact not only on our lives, but we know everyone who's passed through SO and even your chemistry class definitely appreciates everything you do.
Yeah. We've all seen the hours you put in, not just for Science Olympiad, but for your students, and it's had a really amazing impact on a lot of us, and really shaped not just where we've ended up, but who we've become.
Yeah, just that SO was such a huge part of our life when we were in high school. We always remember and still talk about when we would spend from 3 o'clock to 9 at night in your corner room working, and you were there just as long as we were, sometimes longer because you got to school before we did. And
you'd be there and tell us all to go home, but then you'd sit down and teach us as much chemistry and any other topic we needed as anyone could possibly know.
Mm-hmm. It was also just, aside from this competition and everything, because that goes without saying that was a lot of fun, and you worked definitely. I mean, just the fact that when you came to FM, we've heard that FM went from a very no-name team to winning. So it was just, you helped it become a huge family, because I remember I would always look at all of the other teams at nationals, and we were the first ones to dress up all the same, which when all the other teams started copying, I remember you grabbed me and were like, look it, they're all copying us. They're trying to be classy like we are. And I remember looking at all of them and wondering if they had as much fun as we did, not just in competition but outside. Like, some of my favorite memories are actually from the year when there were only 4 girls on the team, and we used to sit at dinner during practice, and all of the boys...
Those were the days.
all of the boys would be standing up and yelling at each other and screaming about, basketball and all this stuff.
Power Rangers.
And we just... Me, Linda, Kim, and Ju-Chen would just sit at your desk, and you'd be like, girls, come over. We'll sit and have girl time. But it just became a huge family for all of us. We still keep in touch with a lot of people. They're some of my best friends.
Yeah, I remember every year you would tell us that our priorities for the year needed to be family first, then school, then Science Olympiad, and we tried to follow that, but sometimes it got a little confusing for us because we had 2 families, and one of them was Science Olympiad, so we'd spend just as much time there, eat as many dinners with you and our team as we did anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely more of a chance to just be with other people that were a lot like us, because, I mean, outside of Science Olympiad, there's really nothing for us to have where we can have... I mean, I don't even think any of the other teams have that kind of atmosphere, and I don't think it's a Science Olympiad. I think you really created that for all of us. You could even see it in your chemistry classes too. Like, I've stayed for your chemistry lock-in right before the Regents exam, and it's wherever you go, you really create that atmosphere of just everyone is very welcome, and whatever we need, you'll really take care of and help us out. And
yeah, it's what always stood out for me was how much people progress after they start to be with you, from the smaller things like getting kids from not knowing what metal is to getting a 90 on the Regents, to the bigger things like taking me as your stupid little freshman and then 4 years later, just the amount I'd learned, and not just about science or competition, but about how to be a teammate and how to help lead people and how to be led. It's amazing how far you can bring people just by being around you and being around Science Olympiad.
Yeah, just second that. I don't really have more I can add to that.
I'll throw something in then. Just one of my favorite memories is every year at invitationals we would have dinner in the hotel room with the mismatched music coming at us, and
we have classical music and then like Spanish music, and we always had the table right in between the two.
Yes, and I remember that was always one of my favorite dinners, because we would have dinner before states and before nationals, but there was always a little more pressure. And for me, that invitationals dinner, it's where the team would sort of come together in a getting to know competition, and it always felt really connected, and there were chances to teach Ju-Chen new things. And
teach Elliot new things.
Teach Elliot that you eat food with knife and fork.
He's your captain now. That's really great.
Yeah.
I just remember when he didn't get off the bus at States, and we had to go find him. This isn't about Elliot, though. I guess that's really it. We'll see you in a week, so this is a little odd making you a video. But
it's true. We're going to be in to visit pretty soon.
Well, you've definitely earned your retirement. I don't know anyone who's earned it more than you. You deserve to go sit at your house in Boca and soak up the sun and not have anyone ask you if you can see H's and O's under a microscope when you look at water.
And pretty soon you'll never have to worry about someone snorting copper sulfide again. As long as you keep it away from your grandkids.
They won't do that. She'll have smart grandkids. So we really miss you. We miss spending a lot of time with you, but we'll definitely be around as long as we come to Manlius, whenever we're in Manlius.
Yeah.
We definitely stop.
Just can't overstate how much Science Olympiad has done for us, and finding out what we want to do with our lives and where we end up. I mean,
yeah, I'm a chemical engineer now because of your chemistry class. Just I loved it so much. I teach some kids, and I use the same things you say, like red cat, anox. I actually said that in my chemistry class, and people looked at me, and I explained it to them. They were like, "That makes so much sense." And I was like, "My high school chemistry teacher."
Yeah, and I guess beyond just teaching people chemistry, teaching us where we want to go, we've forged some really long-lasting friendships. I mean, that's where we met. So
yeah. So thank you for everything you've done. We'll see you soon. I'll tell you again in person, but we just wanted to be part of this and let you know how much we appreciate it. I can't say how much we appreciate it, but you've just done so much, and I know you've done a lot for everyone else as well.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a really amazing experience getting to be on Science Olympiad with you as a coach, and it's been a really big part of, I think, everyone's lives. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ryan Izant. For the 7 years I knew Mrs. C before I made it on the team myself, there's only one way I can really describe what I thought of her. Something like a goddess, having a combination of traits that no one could ever match. I always heard how she was dedicated, how much she cared, but I never really had a chance to experience it myself. And so I came in already thinking she'd be amazing, but I was wrong. She's much more than that. To say dedicated is an understatement. There's really nothing keeping Mrs. C at school longer than 3 o'clock, but instead she stays until 6 or 7 or 10 or however late we need to stay, always putting us before her family. And that's just something very rare to find among other people, other coaches from other schools. Other schools only get to stay practice until 3 or 4 maybe on a lucky day, and that's what's contributed to our success so much. I remember a day for nationals where she spent about 2 hours digging out old rock samples from 2006 or something like that to prepare Catherine and I a rocks test. And she just went way out of her way, way out of her subject knowledge of chemistry to prepare us a rocks test. And she often spent so much time on one individual person that it would have to wait a week or at least a few days in order to get her to help you with something, because she was always spending a full amount of time on everyone, making sure that whatever they needed to know got learned, and whatever they needed to have done got done. And that's one of her best traits, and that's what we're going to miss the most. Someone who sees everything through to the end. Mrs. C would always write me chem tests, and if I made a few mistakes, she'd go over everything with me, then make me another one. She must have made me at least 20 little quizzes just to teach me everything, and I would say that regardless of our finish in chem lab, I knew oxidation and reduction very, very well, and I don't think I could have done it without her.
Hi, Mrs. C. It's Kenny Friedman from the class of 2013. Words truly cannot describe your impact on my life. I cannot imagine my high school career without Science Olympiad. I hope this video shows a glimpse of how much you've impacted everyone that has had you as a teacher and has been with you on FMSO. Congratulations on an incredible career, and have a great retirement. We love you.